I'm Som. Thank you so much for stopping by for my application to Gap Summit 2018. Before I begin, let me give you a brief introduction about myself. I'm Som Mukherjee, hailing from Kolkata, India. I am currently a PhD researcher at National University of Singapore, and my research involves deciphering the pathways by which cancer cells migrate. I obtained my Masters of Science degree from Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, before moving to Singapore. Now, the question comes, why do I want to join the Gap Summit, and what makes me a good fit for it? Gap Summit over the years have attracted the brightest of all minds, and by attending Gap Summit, I hope to ideate, to learn, to connect, and to improve myself. Gap Summit attracts the brilliant of minds across the world, and with them, I want to discuss the problems which has been plaguing our society. I hope to work in teams and find a common solution to the problems which has been plaguing us. Also, Gap Summit is a great platform to learn. It is also a great platform to meet the leaders in their fields. I look forward to meeting Dr. Theodoros, Mrs. Shaw, and Mrs. Bingham. I hope to discuss the problems which has been affecting the Indian startup ecosystem, and I look forward to hear their views on the same. Gap Summit also attracts people from 43 countries. It will give me a great chance to make new friends and to learn new ideas from them. Gap Summit will also help me to improve myself. I hope to learn from my peers and to get inspired from the work that they have done over the years. Now the question is, why am I a good fit for this event? Over the years, I have shown leadership skills, the latest of which is biobiz. Biobiz gives a platform for the students to interact with their employers and to showcase their skills. I'm also one of the organizers of Biological Sciences Graduate Conference, which attracts the brightest of minds across Asia. I have also shown entrepreneurship skills in founding the company Pille, which has developed a tool and an ecosystem to enable the elderly to adhere to their pills on time. We are one of the top 5 teams to be selected to present at Grand for Apps finale this year in Singapore. I'm also a team player. I was a part of the best team at ES 2016 and a member at the UK Singapore pilot run of the same competition this year. The competition asks us to find a problem and develop a business solution to solve that problem. Over the years, I have been spending time to educate the children in my country. I have organized a lot of blood donation camps and was a part of campaign against anti-dowry laws. Next comes the bioeconomy of my country, India. India has 2 major players in bioeconomy, the agriculture and the biotech industry. Indian agriculture has a number of strengths. It has a strength in numbers, a strength in area, and a strength in the amount of GDP that it affects. Indian agriculture sector gives employment to 52% of the country's population. It also employs 70% of the rural population. Over the years, it has seen a dramatic increase in production. From 1950 to 2017, there has been an increase of 4 times. India also has an arable land of 55.8 million hectares. This leads to the production of huge amount of food. India is the largest producer of pulses and the second largest producer of vegetables and rice. The Indian agriculture accounts for 14% of the country's GDP. This protects the country's economy during global downturns. The recent example is the 2008 crisis. It has a number of weaknesses as well. The first is the low yield. Even though India has one of the largest area, the yield per area is one of the lowest. India also lacks value addition sectors like food processing, which employs thousands of people in countries like Malaysia and Thailand. India also has a wastage crisis. A large amount of food is wasted during transportation and during storage. Indian agriculture also uses old technology. This old technology needs to be replaced as soon as possible to improve the productivity of the country. The second pillar is the biotech industry. The strength of the biotech industry comes from the young population. India has one of the largest young population of the world, and millions of them are employed in the biotech industry. The biotech industry also has properly trained students from thousands of institutes and universities which have been set up in the country. The sector has also seen compound growth over the years. In 2008, it had a net worth of $350 million, which has now increased to around $20 billion. However, it is not without weaknesses. The major weakness is the red tape which still exists in the bureaucracy. This makes it very difficult for entrepreneurs to open new businesses in the country. The second problem is the financial ecosystem in the country. India does not have a lot of high value financiers, and it's often a very daunting and difficult task for small companies to finance their day to day work. India needs to improve on this to attract more people to invest in the biotech industry. There is also a problem of tech transfer in India. Even though India has one of the top performing agricultural universities, the output to the industrial side has been very bad so far. The biotech industry isn't much helped by the academia of. Now, for the final question, I'll be talking about the gaps in the pharma industry. The pharma industry has been facing a number of challenges. For example, the discovery of new compounds is on the decline. This is mostly because that they have hit a ceiling. Blockbuster drugs are now more difficult to develop, and the easier GPCR-based compounds have all been discovered. Moreover, the costs have skyrocketed. Now it costs $2.5 billion to make a new drug. This is because of stringent rule and overall price rise. There is also a high drug attrition rate. From the stage of compound designing to clinical candidate, it involves a number of steps and things can go wrong anywhere. It has been found that CNS, oncology and women's health, they have the maximum attrition rate. The overall attrition rate is only 11%. And most of the companies invest their money on these two things, CNS and oncology. Moreover, there has been an increase in externalization. Most of the new biologics are now outsourced outside the big pharma. So the big pharma should make changes accordingly. They should now go for targeted therapies instead of broad spectrum drugs, which is easier to develop. Also, they should leave historically difficult areas of R&D. They should also divide their assets into smaller firms so as to minimize losses in case of any flop product. They should also reward innovation and entrepreneurship among their new startups. Also, they should benchmark the capabilities of IP and CROs to minimize losses. For funding, since it's now $2.5 billion to invent a new drug, it's difficult to invest such an amount. The companies should explore collaboration and identify right partners to minimize funding issues. There's also a lot of digitization going on, and the companies should invest in AI and machine learning for this process. They can also identify patients by genome sequencing to give them more targeted drug therapies. Moreover, many countries like China are now increasing their investment on new drugs. It's better to partner in a multi-country level to develop new drugs for the companies. So this is how they should implement. There are 3 steps. They can easily increase R&D, they can increase industry consolidation, and they can increase biotech licensing. However, they should over the period of time go for open source, cooperative tech dev, and outsourcing to facilitate the process. Thank you for your time and consideration. I look forward meeting you all in April.